Welcome back to another episode of Mrs. P, Mrs. the Classroom, where I tell you all about things I did in the classroom and why I miss being a full-time teacher. This particular example was such a great way to hook students into letter writing. Now, of course, we do different genres and themes for writing and things like that, and I wanted a really great way of hooking in students when it comes to learning the correct way of writing a letter. So we had done some practice examples, sending to our family and our household, writing a letter, sending it to a friend, all of those sorts of things. And I thought, why not go one step further and actually go to the post office and send a letter with a stamp? So we picked, and I did some work with the family, a family member that didn't live in the same household as the students, so that we actually had a letter arriving to someone else. Of course, in class we worked on writing the letter, drafting the letter, putting it together, talking about an envelope, an address, all of those sorts of things, and we talked a lot about geography and maps because some of the students were sending letters overseas. And we each had one person we were writing our last key letter to. It was like our final outcome. We did one that was to our best friend or our friend we wrote a letter, one to someone in our household that we would take home and give it to our friend, and our family, and this was our big final one. So we drafted our letter, did a pretty picture, all of those sorts of things, and I thought, why not? Let's just go to the post shop. So we took our letters, took our stamps, took our money to buy a stamp, took our envelope, and we trotted off, did a class trip down to our local post shop. So where I used to live, the post shop was about a 10-minute walk, and we did it all together as a class. We went down, we ended up having our morning tea there, but we physically went into the post shop and asked for a stamp each. Now, I rung up the post shop to make sure it would be fine, that a whole class of children turning up to post a letter would be all right. And they said it was fine, they were really excited, and we spoke about how we would ask for a stamp. How do we order a stamp? What does that look like? What do we need to say? All of those sorts of conversation starters. And each kid, one by one, went inside, bought a stamp, put it on their letter, they made sure it was addressed properly, and then sent their letter away. And many of the children got a letter back addressed to the school, which was so cool. And it was just a really different way of having it be meaningful. Yes, of course we can send letters and things like that, but kids don't really understand exactly how that letter arrives. What is that process? What do we have to do to get it from A to B? And I know we have emails and things now and text messages, but I really wanted to invest in that whole process. So definitely one of the coolest trips that we did in terms of having it make meaning. And we trotted off down, went to the post office, then had morning tea, and then came back. And I can still remember just those kids being like, wow, I did that. And the parents as well, they were just so engaged as well. So another idea for you to use in your classroom.